Life isn't always designed to be smooth, and when you feel broken, that's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of living. Everyone gets knocked down at some point. What about loss, betrayal, or the weight of the world pressing in? It's human to feel shattered in those moments, but listen to me, those moments are temporary. They're not permanent stops, they're pauses in the journey. You got to realize that acknowledging your brokenness is the first step. Pretending everything's fine when it's not is like putting a bandage on a deep wound. It won't heal right. So be honest with yourself about where you're at emotionally. It's okay to admit that you're hurting. That honesty is where your healing starts. Once you've admitted it, though, you have a choice to make. Are you going to sit in that brokenness and let it consume you, or are you going to get up and do something about it? This is where the real work begins. Staying down is easy, but getting back up, that takes guts. People often mistake brokenness for weakness, but it's not the same thing. Feeling broken doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. What makes you strong is the decision to pick up the pieces and move forward, no matter how tough it gets. Strength isn't in avoiding pain, it's in surviving it. Don't fall into the trap of self-pity. It's easy to feel like the world owes you something when you're broken. But the truth is, the world doesn't stop for anyone. You've got to stop looking for someone to save you and start saving yourself. No one else can do it for you. Use this moment as a wake-up call. Look around and ask yourself what's next. It doesn't matter how small the next step is, as long as you're moving forward. When you're broken, progress doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be progress. Let this brokenness be a reminder that you're still alive. If you can feel pain, it means you haven't given up. And as long as you're still here, you've got a shot at something better. But it's up to you to make that happen. Pain has a way of making you feel like the universe is out to get you. But what if I told you that pain isn't there to punish you, it's there to teach you? Every painful experience you go through carries a lesson, and it's up to you to figure out what that lesson is. The thing about pain is that it forces you to stop and pay attention. When life is going smoothly, it's easy to coast along without questioning anything. But when you're in pain, you're forced to confront your reality. That's where growth happens. Think back to a time in your life when you faced a major challenge. At the time, it probably felt unbearable. But looking back, you can see how it shaped you into the person you are today. Pain doesn't just break you, it rebuilds you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The key is to stop asking why me and start asking, what is this teaching me? When you shift your mindset like that, you take back control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming a student of your experience. Pain also has a way of revealing what matters. When you're in the middle of it, you start to see who's there for you, what's truly important, and what you've been holding on to that no longer serves you. Pain clears the clutter. One of the hardest lessons pain teaches is patience. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and growth takes time. But the longer you resist the pain, the longer it will stick around. Accept it for what it is, a teacher, and trust that it's leading you somewhere better. You can't avoid pain, but you can decide how you respond to it. Will you let it make you bitter, or will you let it make you better? The choice is yours. When you're feeling broken, it's easy to lose sight of who you are. You start believing the lies your pain tells you, that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you're not worthy. But those are lies, and it's time to confront them. Stand in front of the mirror and take a good, hard look at yourself. I'm not talking about the physical reflection. I'm talking about the person behind the eyes. Who is that person? What have they been through? And more importantly, what are they capable of? Think about all the times in your life when you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did. Think about the strength it took to overcome those obstacles. That strength is still there, even if it feels buried under layers of doubt. and pain, this is where you remind yourself of your worth. You are not defined by your brokenness. You are not defined by your mistakes or your failures. You are defined by how you rise after the fall. And every time you rise, you prove to yourself and the world that you're stronger than anything that comes your way. It's also important to speak life into yourself. Words have power, and the words you say to yourself can either lift you or tear you down. So instead of saying, I'm broken, try saying, I'm healing. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm stronger than I think. Don't wait for someone else to validate you. That validation has to come from within. You've got to be your own biggest cheerleader, your source of encouragement, and your reminder of who you are and what you're capable of. Looking in the mirror is about more than just seeing yourself, it's about believing in yourself. And when you truly believe in yourself, there's nothing you can't overcome. When life feels like an unbreakable wall standing between you and where you want to be, it can be overwhelming. That wall might represent pain, fear, or circumstances that seem too big to overcome. But here's the truth, no wall is unbreakable if you tackle it one brick at a time. You don't need to figure out the whole solution today. What you need is to focus on the next small step. It might be getting out of bed, making a phone call, or simply taking a deep breath and saying, I'll try again tomorrow. Small actions might not seem like much, but they're the foundation for bigger changes. A lot of people get stuck because they try to take on everything at once. They see the whole wall and think, there's no way I can do this. But the secret is to stop looking at the whole thing. Focus on that one brick in front of you. Break it down into something manageable. Each brick you remove is a victory. Celebrate that progress no matter how small it feels. Too often, we dismiss the little wins because we're focused on the big picture. But those little wins are what builds momentum. One brick today, another tomorrow, that's how you create change. Understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, and it takes patience. There will be days when you feel like you're not making any progress at all, but that's just part of the journey. Keep chipping away, and eventually you'll see the wall start to crumble. You've also got to be strategic. Some bricks will come loose easily, while others will require more effort. Prioritize the ones you can handle now and leave the tougher ones for later. Progress isn't about speed, it's about persistence. The wall might seem impossible to break, but remember, it's only made up of individual pieces. And piece by piece, you have the power to take it down. All it takes is a little patience, a little determination, and the courage to keep going no matter how hard it gets. Life doesn't pause when you're hurting. The bills don't stop coming, responsibilities don't disappear, and the clock keeps ticking. That's the cold, hard truth. The world keeps spinning whether you're ready for it or not. And while that might seem harsh, it's also a wake-up call. No one else is going to carry your load for you. People might lend a hand or offer support, but at the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. That's not meant to discourage you, it's meant to empower you. Because if it's your responsibility, it's also within your power to change it. You might not feel like you have the strength to keep up, but you do. Humans are resilient by nature. We're built to adapt, to push through adversity, and to rise to the challenge. Don't underestimate what you're capable of, even when you're at your lowest point. This isn't about ignoring your pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about learning to carry it with you as you move forward. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to move at anyone else's pace. But you do have to keep moving. Think of it like a race. You might not be sprinting right now, and that's okay. Even if you're crawling, you're still in the race. The only way you lose is if you stop completely. So keep going, no matter how slow it feels. It's also important to prioritize. When you're feeling broken, you don't have the energy to do everything. Focus on what's essential. Handle the basics first: food, shelter, health. Once you've got the essentials covered, you can start working on the rest. The world isn't going to stop for you, but that doesn't mean you're alone in it. There's strength in knowing that everyone faces their battles. You're not the first to feel broken, and you won't be the last. But what sets you apart is how you choose to respond. The people around you have a huge impact on how you handle your brokenness. When you're at your lowest, you don't need people who drain your energy or make you feel worse. You need people who remind you of your strength and help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Start by identifying who's really in your corner. These are the people who check on you, who listen without judgment, and who genuinely care about your well-being. They don't have to have all the answers, they just have to show up for you. At the same time, you've got to distance yourself from negativity. It's hard enough to rebuild when you're broken without people adding more weight to your load. If someone's not contributing to your healing, it's okay to step back from that relationship, at least for now. Sometimes lifting yourself starts with asking for help. That's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit you can't do it all alone. Reach out to someone you trust and let them know what you're going through. If you don't have a strong support system, don't lose hope. There are resources out there, support groups, mentors, even strangers who've walked a similar path and are willing to help. You're never as alone as you think you are. Surrounding yourself with positive influences doesn't just apply to people. The books you read, the shows you watched, the music you listen to, all of it shapes your mindset. Choose things that inspire you, that motivate you, and that remind you of what's possible. Remember, the energy you allow into your life matters. Positive energy is contagious, just like negative energy is. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people and influences that fill your cup, not empty it. One of the biggest traps you can fall into when you're feeling broken is thinking you need to fix everything all at once. You start putting pressure on yourself to be perfect, to have it all figured out, and to bounce back instantly. But let me tell you something, perfection is a myth, and chasing it will only keep you stuck. When you're rebuilding yourself, progress is what matters. Even the smallest step forward is a win. You don't need to have a flawless comeback story, you just need to keep moving in the right direction. Progress doesn't have to look impressive to anyone else. It only has to feel real to you. Some days, progress might be as simple as getting out of bed. On other days, it might mean tackling a big task or confronting a fear. The size of the step doesn't matter. What matters is that you're stepping. Each step is a reminder that you're still in the fight and that you're not giving up. Let go of the idea that you have to be perfect to move forward. Perfection is paralyzing. It keeps you focused on what's wrong instead of what's right. And when you're focused on progress, you start to see the good in every effort, no matter how small. One of the biggest mistakes people make is comparing their progress to others. You might look at someone else and think they've got it all together while you feel like you're falling apart, but you don't know their journey. Focus on your path and measure your progress against where you were yesterday, not where someone else is today. Progress also means embracing failure. Every step won't be perfect, and that's okay. Failure isn't the end, it's just a part of the process. Learn from it, adjust, and keep going. It's the people who keep trying, even after they fall, who make it to the other side. When you focus on progress, you free yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations. You permit yourself to be human, to make mistakes, and to grow at your own pace. That's where true healing begins. When you're feeling broken, it can seem like the pain is pointless, but pain, as heavy as it feels, can become one of the most powerful tools for transformation. The question you have to ask yourself is, what can I do with this pain? That's how you start turning pain into purpose. Every struggle you go through has the potential to teach you something valuable. It might teach you resilience, patience, empathy, or strength. But it doesn't stop there. What you learn from your pain can be used to help others who are going through the same thing. Think about the people who have inspired you the most. Chances are they've been through their pain and they've used it to uplift others. That's what purpose looks like. It's taking what broke you and using it to build something better for yourself and others. When you find purpose in your pain, it stops controlling you. It stops being something that happened to you and starts being something you're using to create meaning. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning, even when life feels hard. Turning pain into purpose doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out right away. It's a process. Start small. Share your story with someone who needs to hear it. Volunteer your time. Use your experience to create something positive, whether it's art, a project, or just a kind word. Your pain can also become your fuel. Let it motivate you to create change in your life or the world around you. Let it push you to become the person you know you can be. Pain might feel like a weight at first, but when you shift your perspective, it becomes your greatest source of power. Purpose doesn't erase pain, but it gives it meaning. And when your pain has meaning, it stops feeling like the end of the story and starts feeling like the beginning of something greater. When you're feeling broken, your daily habits can either pull you further down or lift you back up. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to create a routine that strengthens you, both physically and mentally. It's not about doing 100 things, it's about doing the right things consistently. Start with the basics. Make sure you're eating enough, drinking water, and getting some rest. When you're in survival mode, it's easy to neglect your body, but your physical health is the foundation for everything else. You can't rebuild yourself if you're running on empty. Next, add something to your day that feeds your mind. Read a book, listen to a podcast, or spend a few minutes writing down your thoughts. Your mind is your most powerful tool, and when you're broken, it needs as much care as your body. Fill it with things that inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of your potential. Now, don't forget about movement. You don't need to hit the gym for hours, but get your body moving in some way, or walk around the block. Stretch in the morning, anything that gets your blood flow will make a difference. Physical movement has a way of clearing your mind and lifting your mood, even when you don't feel like it. Set aside time for reflection. Whether it's prayer, meditation, or simply sitting in silence, give yourself a moment to breathe and check in with yourself. Reflection isn't about fixing everything, it's about acknowledging where you are and finding a little peace in the moment. Keep your routine simple and realistic. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do too much at once. Pick one or two things to start with and build from there. Consistency is more important than intensity. Small, steady actions will create the biggest impact over time. A strong routine won't fix everything, but it will give you a sense of stability. When everything else feels out of control, your routine becomes your anchor. It's a reminder that you're capable of taking care of yourself, even when life feels overwhelming. When life breaks you, the first question most people ask is, why? Why did this happen to me? Why am I going through this? Why now? It's a natural reaction, but the truth is, asking why doesn't change the situation. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. Instead, shift your focus to how. How can I move forward? Is a much more powerful question than why did this happen? Because how pushes you to think about solutions. It doesn't erase the pain, but it forces you to look for ways to heal, grow, and rebuild. The moment you start asking how is the moment you take back control. Asking how doesn't mean you'll have all the answers right away. You might not know where to start, and that's okay. Begin with small, practical steps. If you're dealing with heartbreak, ask yourself, how can I create a little joy today? If it's financial struggles, ask, how can I make progress on this one bill? The beauty of how is that it shifts your energy, it takes you out of victim mode and puts you in charge of your response. No matter how broken you feel, you always have the power to decide your next move. You might not control what happened, but you can control what happens next. Sometimes the answer to how will require you to get uncomfortable. It means asking for help, stepping outside your comfort zone, or letting go of something that's holding you back. But discomfort is part of the process. Growth doesn't happen without it, and the sooner you embrace it, the stronger you'll become. The key is persistence. You might not find the right answer the first time you ask how. That's okay. Keep asking, keep trying, and keep moving forward. Every attempt is a step closer to healing, even if it doesn't feel like it right away. Asking how is a mindset shift, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have when you feel broken. It reminds you that even in the darkest moments, you can create change. When you're feeling broken, you don't have energy to waste. Every ounce of strength you have needs to go toward rebuilding yourself, which means you've got to cut out anything that's draining you. That includes toxic people, bad habits, and even negative thoughts that keep you stuck. Start by identifying what's weighing you down. It might be a relationship that's full of conflict, a habit that's sabotaging your progress, or a mindset that tells you you're not good enough. Whatever it is, be honest with yourself about its impact on your life. Letting go isn't easy. Sometimes we hold on to things because they're familiar, even if they're harmful. But if something is draining your energy without adding any value, it's time to let it go. You can't afford to carry dead weight when you're trying to heal. This doesn't mean you have to make drastic changes overnight. Start small. If you've got someone in your life who's constantly negative, set boundaries. If you've got a habit that's holding you back, replace it with something healthier. Focus on progress, not perfection. One of the hardest things to let go of is the negative voice in your head. That voice that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never get better, or that you're wasting your time. Challenge that voice. Replace it with affirmations that remind you of your worth and potential. Cutting out what's draining you creates space for what lifts you. It's like clearing out a garden. You've got to pull the weeds before you can plant something new. And once you make room, you'll be amazed at how much lighter and more focused you feel. This process isn't about running away from your problems. It's about prioritizing your healing. You deserve to be in an environment that supports your growth, not one that constantly takes away from it. When you're in the middle of feeling broken, it can seem like it's never going to end. The pain feels permanent, and the weight of it makes it hard to see anything beyond the moment you're in. But no matter how dark it feels right now, I promise you this season's change. Every struggle, no matter how heavy, has an expiration date. It might not feel that way when you're in it, but nothing in life is permanent. Just like the seasons change from winter to spring, the pain you're feeling will eventually give way to something better. The key is to hold on through the storm. You might not see the sun yet, but it's there waiting to break through. Every day you survive is a step closer to brighter days. Don't underestimate the power of endurance. Sometimes simply holding on is the bravest thing you can do. While you're in this season, focus on what you can learn from it. Pain has a way of teaching us lessons we couldn't learn any other way. It might teach you patience, resilience, or a deeper appreciation for the good things in life. Those lessons are what will carry you forward. Trusting that this season will pass doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. Acknowledge your pain, sit with it, and let yourself feel it. But don't let it consume you. Remind yourself that this is temporary and that better days are ahead, even if you can't see them yet. Sometimes the hardest part of trusting the process is letting go of the need for control. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just focus on taking the next step and trust that the path will unfold as it's meant to. This season will pass, and when it does, you'll come out stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust that better days are on their way.